Here today with the, what is it, Alsport Trisport, kind of ATV sort of thing. And I'm going to try to see if I can work on it a little bit. I had it running before. It's been sitting out over there for the past, I don't know, well, since the last video. So I'm going to get it cleaned up a little bit so it's actually like decent to work on. Engine's not seized, which is good. I don't know if it's not full of water this time. I don't know what's in there. Looks a little milky, so it's probably going to need drained out and changed. Carburetor is a little, well, carburetor's always been kind of funky on this thing, but yeah, that doesn't look too good. Something got in there, so that's going to have to come apart. But for now, let's drag it over and see if we can get it cleaned off a bit. Okay, well that's the cleanest that thing's probably been in years. And I think a governor's sticking on the pressure washer. So I'll turn this thing around, get it cleaned off a little more, and we'll let it dry off and then get to working on it. Okay, so let it dry off a little bit. I've been messing around with some of the cables a bit. Got this unseized, put a new, well, sort of new temporary throttle cable on there, temporary brake cable that kind of does something, going back to that brake. I put some oil on the chain and everything. It looks like that this clutch, I don't know what kind of engine this thing originally had, but it definitely wasn't a 5 horsepower Briggs. I'm guessing probably more of like a cycle type engine, but if you can see there that the clutch has had some distress at some point in time and has been repaired. It's a Comet clutch. And also well, you can see that there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Come on. That engine's had something fly loose in there at some point in time. Now I know that it ran previously, and that didn't happen while I was running it. That looks like it's been repaired. I don't know if it had some kind of like JB weld over it and I blasted that off with the power washer or what, but needless to say, I'm not going to put that much time and effort into this engine other than to try to get it running. So, got some bolts loose, got the tank kind of loose. We'll at least try to see if I can blast this carburetor out, or at least get it off, shoot some starting fluid in there, see if it'll fire. The oil still actually looks clean. It is a little overfilled, so I'm not sure if I did that last time I was running it, or if water got in it. We'll see what happens when it fires up. So I've got to remove one bolt there at the bottom of the gas tank. I'm not even going to screw around with trying to get the starter fixed. I've got it in the garage, but actually all it needs is a handle. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what kind of engine this originally had, but it has lights, provisions for lights. There's some sort of semi-wiring harness coming up through right there, and there's a little nub on the front behind the switch from a forward light, front light. So I'm assuming it's probably had electric start, not sure, but yeah. Let's see if I can get this gas tank off and see what wonders lie inside. Actually, taking off the cap, it doesn't look too bad, but you never know. Okay, well, that is all kinds of unhealthy looking. That is your float bowl. The way these engines work, they have a little diaphragm pump on the side of the carb back here. If anybody ever watched the previous videos on that, that was leaking before. Pumps the fuel up from the... Ooh, that stinks. Why did I even do that? Anyway, it pumps the fuel up through here, squirts it down into the carburetor, the bowl, which then overflows back into the tank. Not sure if I'll be able to clean that. I don't think that comes out. So, looks like just sludge. It's actually not too pitted or anything in there. Want some? Alright, let's see if I can get the carburetor off. Just using a Torx driver. Put that back in there so I don't lose it or forget where it goes, if I even get this thing back together. Okay, that's looking even less healthy than the gas tank. Ugh. So yeah, water was sitting in here. I wonder if the valve moves. I just wiggled the engine back and forth. I do not see any. That didn't sound good. Oh, and look, there's Bondo here too on the engine. Okay, well, I wiped it out a little bit. It actually doesn't look as bad as I thought. I did turn it, and it looks like the valve stuck open. So I'm probably going to have to pull the head, but just for some giggles, let's see what will happen here. See if the thing even has spark, it pops, whatever. Huh? The coil works. So actually, I think if I get that valve unstuck, it might just run. Maybe. Who knows? And more crap. I don't know if I want to keep going with this. It seems like it gets worse every thing I take off, but who knows? Let's see what happens. So, I may have done it. Well, let's see what happens. So back here with the Alsport, and I did the best I could to clean the carb. The engine actually does run, which is why I kept messing with it. The engine is shot, but I want to see if it can at least go. Fuel tank doesn't look too bad. I don't know if you can see in there. It's actually pretty clean. The worst part of it is this bowl thing on top. The rest of it looks like it's galvanized. No, it doesn't look like there's any rust at all in the actual tank. It's all coming off of this. So I got as much off as I could. Flushed it out as much as I could. I actually put a little bit of gas in the bowl part and stuck it up there. It was actually running for a little bit. So we're going to see if putting the tank on, if the fuel pump works. And we're going to have to change the oil because it's basically milk. So we'll be back in a little bit and see if it runs. Yeah. Milkshake, anyone? Okay. I think that's about it. The carburetor has no apparent idle circuit, probably because, well, you can see the idle screw, it's snapped off. I couldn't get it out. It's completely seized in there. So the only way to slightly keep it running is to kind of, because there is no main jet adjustment on these, or maybe that is the main jet adjustment. I really don't know. Could be. That could be the problem. But it's a careful matter of working the choke and throttle to get it to actually run. And that was probably actually the best I had it running. I did have it idling pretty nice, but it did sound like it was really wanting to throw that rod again. So, I think this one's had it. I'm not even going to try looking for a different carburetor for it. I know I don't have one like this, and there's no point buying one when the engine's about had it. So, yeah, we're going to look into other options for this. And there we go. Thanks for watching.